was a big factor in our defensive efficiency. He did a great job. Jimmy's so great, it's hard to even slow him down. But AD did a great job. And, it starts there. But you have to credit our guys' competitive spirit. I mean, they were flying around and just competing at an extremely high level on that end of the floor.
I know you expect to see LeBron and AD come up with plays down the stretch. What are your thoughts on KCP with those 5 straight points in crunch time there?
Huge. I mean, he's a confident young man. He's been a huge part of our success this year for what he does on both ends of the floor. And I was proud of him and Danny for having bounce-back games offensively. We need everybody to participate and contribute. And, we're a team-first team. Obviously we have our 2 big horses, but everybody's got to contribute that's out there. And proud of both of those guys for stepping up. But KCP down the stretch, big guts to take and make those shots that he took. And it was a huge 5 points, obviously.
Awesome.
All right, we'll start with Kyle Goon.
Frank, you touched on it, but obviously AD taking on Jimmy for most of the night, and then in those when AD was on the bench, LeBron refusing to switch off of Jimmy. How do you feel like that set the tone for what you guys did in the second half defensively?
Yeah, set a great tone. I mean, that was a big part of our plan. Our adjustments from last game to this game is to try to keep those 2 guys on him as much as possible, and they rose to the challenge. They really stepped up. Obviously,
tied the Celtics for most all time. LeBron turned it on in the second half, scoring 20 of his 28 in the final 2 quarters. Also got it done defensively, holding the Heat to 4 of 10 shooting as the primary defender. Now, from the Heat side, they went cold from deep. Miami shot 24% from 3 over the first 3 quarters before pumping up those numbers late. No Heat player made more than 3 triples in this game. Jimmy Butler going 0 for 3. And the Lakers are now 4-0 after lost this postseason. LA dropped only 1 game in each of the first 3 playoff series. If they finish this series in 5 games, the Lakers would post their best record in a postseason since they went 15-1 in 2001 with Shaq and Kobe when they won 3 in a row.
Hey, remember Last Dance?
Yeah.
Critically acclaimed series. It's being released now as a special Blu-ray gift set. The Emmy-winning documentary tells the story of Michael Jordan, of course, in the Bulls' final run of the 6th NBA championship. Gift set includes over 4 hours of bonus material. Head over to ESPN.com/GetTheLastDance for more information. Our lead story, the Seattle Storm, WNBA champion.
It was our lead story.
Yeah.
You're accustomed. I think it just simply comes down some nights just make or miss.
I'm glad you said that because I just, from my vantage point, I just love seeing our guys compete. I love, how they respond in between those 4 lines. This was a throwback game, and there were some moments of truth, there at the end. And probably the bottom line is they won those moments of truth. We had some reads, they are long and they are an extremely good defensive team. So your windows happen much quicker. Thought we had some opportunities, but you do have to credit their defense, and they just made some more plays, going down the stretch, and we'll respond. That's not even that's academic at this point. We'll just rest up tomorrow and get back to work and get ready for the next one.
Next question, Jared Weiss.
So you've seemed to use every defensive scheme that exists in the series so far. Today we saw a lot of hard showing and recovering. How do you feel like that scheme went? And do you feel like you have to keep throwing new things at this Lakers offense?
Yeah, it's not like LeBron hasn't seen every single coverage, so we're not going to trick him. Look, this was in the balance. There were some moments of truth, and it came down to making plays. And we made a lot more plays at the end of last game. They made their plays tonight, made some big shots. Pope hit the big one, obviously, and Davis put the one that basically sealed it. And LeBron obviously put his fingerprints on that, down the stretch. And they had a handful of offensive rebounds, second chance opportunities where we really defended well and got the stop, and they were able to get another opportunity, from that. But this was a grind out throwback game. Both teams were competing with great force. It's not like anybody was giving up any quarter on either side, and you just have to make some plays down the end. And I don't think we didn't make plays. I just think they just made more plays and more shots to seal it.
Next question is from Cameron Buford.
Hey, Coach, I want to know what you thought about Tyler Hero's performance and willingness to compete down there late in the fourth quarter. The ball kept seeming to find him, and he was responding. Obviously, he didn't make every play, but he made some big plays. But what you thought about that? And then coming Friday, do you think you'll have a package for him ready to go late in the fourth quarter?
He's already, been that kind of guy for us in the playoffs. So it's not about developing a new package. If you've watched us, he's had some big-time moments, for us on this playoff run. And against a defense as good as LA's, you're going to need a lot of guys contributing and different guys that are threats to make them react in a different way. And Tyler can make plays in a lot of unscripted ways, which is really important. At the same time, with Tyler, it feels like, he's not really a 20-year-old rookie player with us. He's been through 3 training camps. He went through summer league last year, went through our training camp, went through a full season, and then the restart, and went through a training camp here. So it almost feels like this is his 3rd season in many regards. But we'll need all of it, for the next one.
Next question is Anthony Chang.
So I know Bam played 33 minutes in it, but were there any limitations on him, and how do you think he looked in his first game back? And also, the second part, what was the determining factor, I guess, in keeping Goran out tonight?
Well, Goran wasn't ready. I mean, he's doing everything he possibly can to get into this competition. Our guys, want to be out there and play for this. We have a purpose why we're here, and Goran's put his heart and soul into this. So he's going to continue to try to do everything he possibly can. When I mentioned it the other night, how you can see it in his eyes and deep into his soul, how much he wants to be out here. I think probably you all can see that as well. And then Bam, he passed all the protocols with his mobility and strength. And I thought he was great, considering he hasn't played in a week or hasn't really done anything other than rehab. But he's the heart and soul of who we are.